Luke, many congratulations. What a contest. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a great contest. It was an up and down contest. You know, kind of a bit of a nervy start for myself. It was not the levels I wanted it to be. I felt like the last two games I've really started off on the first set at quite a crucial standard, and then obviously there it was nice to get through the first set, and then second set was a bit more comfortable. The third set was a lot tighter and a great fifth leg, and then obviously the onslaught from Gabriel was like it was like playing like any top player in the world. It was you just looking every time it was a treble, and finishing everything. So yeah, it was kind of important, I guess, sitting here now that I was 3-0 up, because if I wasn't, then could have been a lot different story.
Yeah, after the last game, you said that it was hard to play someone when not a lot's thrown back at you. And Gabriel definitely threw a lot back at you in that match. How did you battle through? How did you get through that contest?
Yeah, it's really hard playing against something that's throwing a lot at you as well, to be honest. There's no, there's no part of that game where I felt like I was comfortably through. You kind of did a little bit against Ted, and I did against Paul in a moment. There was no point, even when I was 3-0 up, that I felt like I've won this game. You know, I kind of felt like after playing the third set, he was kind of getting into his own a little bit, and it wasn't like he weren't playing very well in the first two sets. So I thought you have to end this game as early as you can. That was what's going through my mind. And he played a fantastic fourth set, and then he got confidence from that. And I played well there, but he was absolutely fantastic, and I was just really pleased that I managed to take that 8-1 out in a crucial moment.
How proud are you of those checkouts at the end, the 50 to break in the last set, and then the 81 to win it as well, to show that kind of resilience under pressure, the bottle? You know, that must be a really, you must be really proud of that facet of your game in particular.
Yeah, because I think he missed darts to need to win that sixth set. So, you know, I knew the 50 might have hurt him a little bit, and it didn't. I think he's gone 140, 140, and, you know, I think 140 or 140 turn 180 or something like that. You know, he's on 41 or whatever, but I don't know, after 9 darts, so it didn't really hurt him, and that shows someone that's got good resilience in him. And yeah, there was a good finish from myself there to make sure that I ended the game, because if it's 3-0 and you're 3-0 up and then it's 3-0, yeah, it can be bleak times for yourself. Then it can be really hard work, and he's got the initiative then. But yeah, I was really, really proud of myself the way I took that good 50 out, and then obviously the 81. And
you said before the tournament started that you were going to win the World Championship. After a game like that and a performance like that, you must be more than happy to kind of double down on that claim. Your confidence must be at a good spot.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's said in jest a little bit because of the fact of who comes to this tournament saying they're going to lose it. If you do, then there's no point being here. You know, you say it in a way where I'm going to win this, because if you don't believe that, you won't win it. If there's no one in this tournament that's going to say I'm not going to win this tournament, then they're going to win it. They just won't. So yeah, of course, you know, it's a bold claim. You know, if it comes off, you know, there's a couple of players that have said it and not worked out for them. So I'm hoping that I'm not a part of that. But of course, like I said, it's in jest. I think I'm going to win it, because you have to have that positive that mindset. So I hope it comes true, but I know I've got a lovely tough running from here on. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one for myself. But I feel much capable of doing what I did in 2024, 2023. I don't know what it is now. 24.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Luke, well done. Is this sick part of you, the competitor in you, going to be pretty pleased that you've had a match like that on reflection?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're great games when you win them. They're not so great when you lose them. You know, they're hard ones to take. You're 3-0 up and then you lose a game 4-3. They're obviously very hard to take, but when you win them, they're great. And there has been many times over this, last 3 or 4 months where I've lost games where it's been a tight one. And, you know, the European Championship finals, you know, it was a game that I felt like I could have won. I didn't. So obviously really, really pleased to win a game that was tight. And 3-0 up, I was playing lovely and kind of just sort of slowed down a little bit, but I found that right level at the right time, and you know, I thought it was a great game overall.
You talk about your levels just there. Where would you say you are in relation to where you would want to be at this stage? Like, what would you like to be at?
I'd like to see my scoring a little bit more consistent. I think in moments it's like really, really good, and then in moments it's a little bit like, oh, it's not that great at the moment. So look, it's long formats. When you're playing best of 7 sets, you know, you have to allow for good moments, bad moments, scoring great, scoring not so great. But the most I was pleased with tonight was my finishing. That was really, really good. And you know, when you average over 100 over a long period of time, it's obviously great. So yeah, I think not to be too critical of myself, but I'm happy where it is, but I need to keep up in it and keep being more consistent.
And the momentum at this stage is so important, isn't it? It's something that you can't get obviously prior to Christmas, but now when the games are coming thicker and faster, you can start sort of drawing on a previous match, for example, can't you?
Yeah, I like it this way. I think when they're coming thick and fast, you have like 5 days off, and it doesn't feel the same when you're like playing 2 days later and 2 days later, and then again and again. You kind of get in that rhythm. You're in good form and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it this way. And like we're in the business part of the tournament now, so you have to be on it. And if you're not, then you'll find yourself leaving. I want to stay on it, and hopefully I have a good run.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Luke, huge congratulations. A lot been made about what a battle that was, but do you feel coming out the other side of that, your game will be in a stronger place heading into the rest of the tournament because of this?
Yeah, I guess so. I think when you're involved in a game that's like really ebbed and flow, you kind of find out what you're made of a little bit. Last year I kind of the first 2 games I wasn't really involved in. I think it was kind of really simple, and then when I played against Peter, he put the pressure on me, and I kind of folded a little bit. It wasn't that level that we'd seen the year before, and then through the year. But this year, I kind of felt like I've been a lot better form, and I kind of didn't fold there. When someone's throwing absolutely everything at you, it's easy to just think that everything's going against you. But I found that level to keep on him, and he was playing so well that's a level that he could beat anybody tonight, and I managed to get that big lead, which definitely helped me.
A lot of German fans into that hostile atmosphere. Did that take you back a little bit, that you weren't the favourite with the fans this evening?
No, they were hostile, but they wasn't bad. They weren't disrespectful. They wasn't whistling, booing me or anything like that. Maybe on the walk-on, but I suppose that shows how great the German fans are, in my opinion. I think the 33% tonight were Germans, and they outdid everyone, in that crowd tonight. And when you go to Euro tours, of course it's tough playing a German, but you sit back and realise how great the German fans are. They really do have good voices, and most of the time they're very respectful as well. I've experienced a lot of good respect from them. So, they were. My honest opinion, they were very respectful tonight. They didn't try to put me off once. They were very, very vocal and fair play to them. If you're going to come over here and give the players respect, that I'm respecting them. It was really good tonight.
You don't normally give too much away on stage, but tonight, very animated celebration-wise, and just watching it, it seemed like you were better for that. Is that something you're going to do? Is just let that emotion out instead of trying to fight to keep it in?
Yeah, sometimes I want to let it out. Sometimes I don't want to fight to keep it in. There's moments where everyone thinks that you're a robot and you don't have no emotion. Of course, I have emotion, but you try and keep it intact because you don't want to let the opponent know, how you're feeling. If you're celebrating hard, and they'll be thinking, if someone's playing me and they're celebrating hard, I'm thinking they're trying harder to beat you. But if you're not celebrating, then you're thinking, this guy you're playing, he's quite comfortable. He doesn't feel like he's playing within himself. So certain moments, every game's different. Certain moments you want to celebrate, certain moments you don't. But I celebrated in the third set because I felt like it was a big moment, and then obviously celebrated at the end there because it was a massive moment to win the game. So yeah, sometimes you'll see emotion come from me, sometimes you won't. But I think it's good when I show a little bit of emotion. It's good for the game. Thank you, mate.
Well done, Luke. Congratulations on great performance. Did that feel in any way similar to the game against Ricardo a couple of years ago?
Yeah, a little bit, but the game was completely flip reverse. Against Ricardo, I was down and out, and then managed to find something, and it was more of a trying to prove something to myself. Whereas that game, I guess I was trying to prove something to myself, but I wasn't trying to play against the crowd. I was just trying to play against a great player in Gabriel, and he pushed me all the way there, and in what was one of my, probably looking back, one of my favourite games, to be honest. The only games I can look back on was that was the game against Joe Cullen. It was a bit back and forth, and it was similar in that game. And when you win games like that, it really does feel special.
Do you actually get enjoyment from that still, or does it just feel like pressure and nerves while you're up there?
Yeah, a lot of enjoyment from that game, to be fair. Obviously I've sat here, I'm the winner. Of course I'm going to be enjoying it more than Gabriel. But, there was moments in that game where I was like, I'm hitting great scores and he's following me, and you get an enjoyment. You're thinking, this is a proper game here, I know the averages weren't, I don't know what they were, they weren't 110, I guess, but, sometimes a really close contested game that really, ebbs and flows, it is a good game to watch for the fans and for the people at home. But for me as a player, I really enjoyed being a part of it as well.
And in those latter sets, does it feel like you're playing a world-class top 10 player? Gabriel was ranked 47 in the world, but does it feel like he was a world-class player coming back at you there?
Yeah, that's not a world number 47 playing in that game there right now. It was that's a top 32 player. That's a nearly top 16 player. And for me, Gabriel, after he made that semi-finals, didn't push on enough after it. He needs to go. Obviously, easy me saying this because I'm here as the winner, but he needs to, come back from this tournament and think, my game is still there. I am still good enough to beat the best, and try and get himself back up there because he's a fantastic player, and at one point he was Germany's best player. So he probably will take a lot of confidence from this, even with this loss. Thank you, mate.
Luke, well done on that win. What's it like when you're standing behind someone that are putting in a performance that we've not seen in a long time? Because it happened last year with Peter Wright. He produced that out of nowhere, really, and it seems to happen again. I think that's Gabriel's best performance for a long, long time on stage.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it happens to me quite a lot, to be fair. I've been on so many performances where, you're kind of playing against someone that is not really shown a lot, and then all of a sudden they find everything, and you're like, where has this come from? But like I said before I played the game, I was never going to take Gabriel for granted. I know he's a good scorer when he's on it, so when I play against someone, I always prepare for the best version of them. And he was absolutely unbelievable tonight. He kind of give away a little bit in the first 3 sets. If he would have kind of won one of them, it would have been a different game maybe. But yeah, it was a nice game to be a part of. I'm really, really proud that I was the one that got through it.
When you're in a tournament as one of the title favourites, how much do you keep an eye on what's happening? Last night we lost Stephen Bunting. We know what Luke Littler's doing. Van Gogh played well last time out. Anderson's been playing well. How much do you keep an eye on that and what these other big boys are doing? Yeah,
I mean, I don't keep an eye on it like I'm worried about what they're doing. I watch it because as a fan I want to see what's going on. But for myself, you can only worry about anybody. You can't worry about anybody but yourself. Because if I'm worried about what they're doing, not worried about what I'm doing, then I'll fail to finding myself at the tournament. Of course, as a fan I watch everything, most of it anyway, see what's going on. But I focus on myself because it's important that I'm worried about what I'm doing rather than what they're doing.
Cheers, Luke. Well done tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
Luke.
You,
with the form that Gabriel's been in recently, were you unsure of what to expect tonight, and did you certainly not expect the 2023 semi-finalist to turn up when 3-0 down?
Yeah, honestly, like you say, it's kind of hard. You don't really know what to expect from him. He's not had the best of years. It's not been horrendous, but it's not been great. He's found himself falling down the rankings a little bit. And you look back in, like you said, 2023 World Championships, and you look back and you think that was a really tough player to beat in them days. And then he's sort of not been up there at that level in the last few years, but he kind of showed tonight that he's got that level still in him. And that it's important for him to leave this week and feel like the game's still there. I have to come back in 2026 and prove a lot more. But you're right, when you're kind of playing against someone you don't really know what you're going to get, it's hard, especially when they're coming at you, that level where you haven't seen it for a long time.
And when you win games like that, when you lift big trophies, do you look back at games like this and think that was, what made me into a champion that week?
Yeah, I did against Ricardo and Joe in 2024. Everyone was telling me in 2024, when I beat Ricardo, is your name on the trophy? And they, I beat Joe, and there's like, is your name on the trophy? Everyone's saying it. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe it is, but it was on the trophy in the end. I had to go out and earn it. But yeah, when you win games like this and you're close to going out, it's kind of good because you kind of jotting through the tournament, winning 3-0, 3-0, 4-0, 4-0, 5-0, and then you come against someone who's going to test you. You're thinking, hold on, you haven't been tested. So for me, when you tested, it does stand you in good stead, and that will tee me up very nicely for my next game. And how pleasing was the doubling element of your game tonight? Because up until right near the end, it was rock solid and up really high percentage-wise. Yeah, I was really, really pleased with it. Obviously, when you're playing 6 sets, it's not going to be always really good. You're going to have moments where it's not so great, but on reflection, I feel like my finishing was probably what won me the game. The 50 out, the 81 out, they're the 2 biggest moments in the whole of the game, and especially that 40, I think it was 44 in the 3rd set as well, to win that one. Them sort of moments are what, I could have had a 33% or 30% checkout percentage tonight, but them crucial moments is really what matters and what people forget. So I was really, really proud of the way I was taking up them crucial moments. Well done. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was it thinking of the support from your family and the fans or friends, or the atmosphere at the venue, or did this very hand once shaken by the British Prime Minister help you? And the question is, what really kept you going during the most tense and pressure-filled moments?
Yeah, I think in the most pressurised moments, I think I was up to the task. Against Gabriel, these type of players, you put them under pressure and you're hoping that they're going to fold a little bit. And he didn't tonight. Every time I hit a good score, he followed it, and then it was tough. And you have to find something in certain moments. That bit of inspiration and. For me, I felt like in them crucial moments is where I found my best stuff. Certain moments in the game where I wasn't at my best, but there was in certain moments when I needed to be at my best that I was, and that is the most pleasing part about that win.
How did you spend Christmas after such a tough match? How will you relax and prepare for the fourth round?
Yeah, I spent Christmas with my family and eating loads of food. To be honest, that was what I did, and. Not too much. I didn't want to overindulge, but yeah, I spent it with my family, which everyone should, and it was really, really nice. And I don't think I'm playing tomorrow, so I think for me it's a day off tomorrow. Relax. My family's with me. My stepdaughter, my son, my fiance. We're all together, so we're just probably going to find something to do tomorrow. Have a relaxed, good sleep, and we go again on the 30th and keep relaxed. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a very long hug after the game. What did you tell each other?
Yeah, I just said, really great game, Gabriel. Basically sort of in short term, keep doing this, keep going, keep performing like this. If you take something away from tonight, then you can get back in that top 32, where I think he belongs. I think he's a massive talent. He's one of the, when in 2023 he was like one of the best scorers in the world, in my opinion, in 2023. So I think sometimes as a dart player you can lose your way a little bit. It can all go good, and then the pressure's on you, and you find yourself searching for something. So yeah, for Gabriel, I just said great game, and he was the better player in the end. I just managed to nab in there and get that 6 set.
Okay, and he has really massive fans shouting his name.
Yeah.
Would you wish your fans would shout your name and would be as loud as his too?
I've got no fans. I don't know if there's any of them out there. Maybe there's a few, but when you're so well loved in Germany, and like I said over here to Phil, when you're coming over here and you're louder than the English fans that you're outnumbered to, that shows you how great they are, to be honest. So yeah, it's like, for me, it's obviously great if you shout with that and like everyone celebrates you and calls your name, but for me, I don't focus on that too much. I focus on the darts and try and perform at the highest level, because it can put you off. If you're getting cheered a lot, it kind of can throw you a little bit.
Is it more nerving or is it motivating too?
A little bit of both. Sometimes it can be really nervy, especially if they're sort of war. Every time you get that treble 20, you're kind of desperate to hit that treble 20 and that next one and that next one at 180s to please them. So, yeah, it can be a little bit of both.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Luke, congrats on the win. Probably the most important situation of the game was when Gabriel had the darts for the 3-3 in sets. How relieved were you when he missed those?
Very relieved. Yeah, of course. It's I think I can't. When you're in a game like that, everything comes a little bit of a blur. But I can't remember how many darts he missed to win the 6th set. But do you know how many was that?
3, I think.
Yeah. So when he missed them, you're thinking you've got a second chance here. And when I take the 50 out last start, I'm kind of thinking just put him under pressure. And I did. I 140 ton or something, and he was like hitting everything back at me. So yeah, it made it really, really tough for me to win that game. But of course, I showed a lot of resilience to do it.
He achieved a German record on the Alapelli stage. Does that prove the point that the Germans can really take the next step on that stage?
What was the record?
It was the German record average on the Alapelli stage.
Highest average from a German. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of talent come from Germany now. Nico Springer is the one for me that I was obviously very disappointed with, that didn't really show up. I thought he was going to have a good run or test a lot of players. He's got that next level in him, I feel. But yeah, he showed up to the Worlds and wasn't at his best. And Gabriel, for me, was that player in 2023. So I don't know, where it goes from there. Martin obviously didn't play very great in his game against Ryan. But the good thing about it is there's a bigger constituent of German players now, rather than just one outshining everyone. You've got 4, 5, 6 on tour now, and that will keep rising. With the youngsters coming over and seeing how great the game is now, there'll be great youngsters. I think Germany's like 660 million people, isn't it, population? So them young kids that maybe will turn up in 5 years' time will then be the precedent to to come here in 10 years' time and be the different class. But at the moment, yeah, someone needs to stand up in Germany and really go like, I'm that top player. Thank you.
Going on to your last answer, what do you think is missing to create this top player in Germany? Because Martin is out, Ricardo's out, maybe Arno is out in a few minutes. Like, what is missing there?
Yeah, I mean, people like Arno, of course, you can't blame him. He's like, this is a free run for him, and you know, he's had a good payday. He's like playing against one of the best players in the world, inexperienced. You know, for the other Germans, it's like you have to find your level in a different country. You know, they do play really well in Germany when the crowd's behind them, but you have to find that level when you're not in the same country you're in. And it's like Martin, I feel like he's the player that I get on really well, man. I thought he was going to be the one to come over and, you know, show some of that level he did on the Euro Tour, but he hasn't. So he might do. You know, it's not over, of course, but yeah, I think you have to come home and play in different environments. Like for me, I've won 6 times in Germany, 7 times in Germany, and I've obviously won a lot in England. You have to be able to play in that different environment where the crowd's not always on your side. And you know, if they find that, then that's when they'll find that level of being able to compete for the big majors.
You have to play a lot in Germany as well. How do you handle it to go to another country and play? Like, what can they learn from you, maybe?
I think just not like, I mean, for me, I guess I don't get like cheered a lot. So it's like, I'm not like, when I'm going to a different place, it's not like it's something new to me that I'm not getting cheered. You know, I probably kind of don't get cheered in England, I don't get cheered in Germany or Netherlands or anywhere like that. So I kind of like, when I'm there, it's kind of normal to me. I guess to them, when they're cheered in Germany and they come here, they maybe lack that bit of boost that probably drives them. You know, when they're in Germany, you get that buzz, and they kind of thrive on it. And when you're here, there's not that as much. So maybe that can be a deciding factor. But for myself, I kind of guess that when you're not cheered anywhere you go, that maybe that is like something that you don't expect. You're not expecting it. So yeah, I mean, when I'm playing Germany, England, Netherlands, anywhere in Europe, you know, you're not getting cheered, so you don't expect it to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.